usual sort of thing we talk about just before we start the show. The show is about how your life was, how your life is, and the journey and everything in between. So, you and I come from a similar area. You're sort of Windsor. I was sort of Jarvis Cross, Beaconsfield, Chalfont sort of thing. And how did the rugby thing start for you, James?
To be honest with you, I never wanted to be a rugby player.
Right.
I kind of wanted to do two things. I wanted to, drive a digger. But my dad said the amount of money he wasted on my education, that I wasn't able to do that.
Okay.
And that
That's a shame.
he wanted letters after my name that just weren't meant to be JCB. So I kind of I wanted to do that, and then I also wanted to be in the SAS. I think like every young boy, but my mum basically said I wasn't allowed to be in the SAS because I was most likely to get shot by my own side. So I really wasn't with that level of confidence. I kind of, we went to some fantastic schools that's provided, lots of opportunities, got into playing rugby. I started when I was 5.
Right.
I don't think anyone ever really to have an amazing career, but I started playing a bit more competitively at school. Trials for England under 16s when I was just 15, didn't get in, got all the way to the final trial. Kind of took that disappointment pretty badly in terms of, it's all relative, my upbringing was pretty privileged. So, yeah. But this was a disappointment that I hadn't really experienced. And my old man kind of said to me, look, you can either come back stronger and have another go and get yourself fitter and in shape because you didn't work hard enough. We both know you're not fit enough. Both know you're not where you should be. Or you can give up and just, play rugby for fun. And that kind of, my mindset was like, right, well, fuck you, I'm going to prove you wrong. Yeah. And so, a bit like a Rocky montage, a friend of the family was a personal trainer, a guy called Henry. And he used to come into school a couple of times a week, and I went from being really tall and skinny and lanky and unfit and unprofessional to, a year and a half later, trial for England under 18s, got in, captain the younger side. And once on that conveyor belt, rugby basically became my path for success or my path for excellence. I like rugby, I like watching it, but I didn't have a burning passion to do it, but it became my vehicle of where I could, because it's quite a linear process. If you're good enough, you work hard enough, you stay fit, you play well, you have success. Whereas most areas of life, you don't have that kind of trajectory. And so it could have been anything. If I'd been good at anything else, that would have been my path to success. As soon as I discovered, that if you put the work in and worked hard, and you could improve, that's what happened. So basically, I ended up having a career where I just kept trying, there was always a goal, there's always a movable feast, play for your school team, get in England 19s, then under 21s, then England 7s team, then play for your club, then get a professional contract, then play for England, then play for the Lions, then play around the world. And everything was quite clear. And if you were good enough, you worked hard enough, you were dedicated enough, you were successful. If you weren't, you were told you were shit house, you didn't get picked, and you weren't successful. And so most people don't have that. And that's why sport's such a good vehicle. Yeah. But now I've retired, I watch a bit of it. Don't really. It's like it happened to someone else. To be honest, it's kind of like it. I don't really remember being a rugby player. I don't really feel like a rugby player.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I kind of. The truth is, you sort of, then and now, I kind of did all I could do in rugby.
Yeah.
And I then put a lid on it. I couldn't do any more. And I'm kind of quite ruthless. Like if it doesn't serve me a purpose, if I don't enjoy it, if it doesn't make me money, I'm not nostalgic. I kind of just went, well, I can't do any more. Boom, that's done. And that's it. And I've done it, finished with it, moved on. And as I said, I don't really miss it. There's moments where it would be nice to be an athlete again and be super fit and healthy and, be out there playing, representing your country and running out in front of 80,000 people. But I can't. So what's the point of thinking of it,
James, can I just ask, please? I mean, it's very difficult for anybody watching at the moment where you're sat down, and when you're on the rugby pitch, it's difficult to get perception. But at the height of your playing career, how tall are you, and how heavy was you?
So I'm 6'3". I'm not as tall. People always think I'm taller, but it's because I'm quite wide. So I'm only 6'3". But now I'm the heaviest. The heaviest I've ever been was in lockdown. When I just saw how big I got. Got to 130 kgs, which is quite big. I would say my weight now is probably 121. When I started my career, I was 100. And by the time I finished, I was 120.
Wow.
So that was, without sounding like a bellend, was muscle really. So I think because of I've got a massive cow head. I've got wide shoulders. I'm big. People think I'm a lot bigger, a lot taller than I am. I think it's because I'm quite wide.
Because it's when you watch it on the telly with the rugby, you don't really get much perspective about how big you guys are until the referee walks past. Then you get some idea.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you're there about 120 kilos, 6'3", but so's the opposition. So you've got these guys bearing down. I mean, if you're at the bottom of a 16-man scrum with those on top, do you ever think like, oh, I wish I'd done something else. I wish I was driving that JCB.
Yeah, I mean, there's moments when you say when you play one of the Pacific Islanders and one of your players has kicked the ball to one of them in the backfield and they're like 140 kgs and they run with an utter disregard for themselves.
And they're coming at you, yeah.
Yeah, run at you with pure hatred. It's very, you sort of go, oh, I'd rather, and then also when you get hit on the nose, you just want to go home and cuddle your mum, really. There are elements of that, but I'm quite, I quite like a tear up, really. I'm not particularly a hard bloke, but once you get into that kind of physicality, I've just started doing jiu-jitsu again.
Okay.
And I turned up to a wedding the other day and my face is all rubbed red raw and I've got bang. I like it, really, because I'm quite a physical bloke and I quite like that stuff,
Did you ever play against Jonah Lomu and who was the other guy, the French guy? Is he the horse? He was
Sebastian Chabal, yeah. I did. I played against Sebastian Chabal actually, and I folded him up a couple of times, so excellent. I was quite pleased about it. I never. Sorry, France. I never played against Jonah, unfortunately. I met him a couple of times. Fantastic guy. I mean, you talk about one player that moved the needle in regards to sport. It was him, man. He was.
Was he enormous, James?
He was, but do you know what the weird thing about it is? What's scary about that is he was only ever probably about 80% fit ever. Not like because of his kidneys and all the problems he had.
Yeah,
he was never fully fit. But he was a huge man, a huge man. But what was interesting about him was just the sheer power and like muscle density and just the kind of speed and the balance was just unheard of, really. But a lot of the teams I played for, most of the Pacific Island players. And he was obviously a Māori player, or I think he was Samoan really at heart, are some of the best, the most physical specimens out of everyone. And they're just so dense.
Is that
muscle?
Is that a fast twitch muscle thing?
It's not even that. It's like just like Tongan people, I think, are one of the biggest race of humans. Right. But they're just all they have to do is look at weights and they grow. But just the density of their muscles and how hard it hurts and how powerful they are, it's just ridiculous.
With that in mind, James, I was going to ask you about accidents and stuff. I mean, brain and spinal accidents are quite frequent in your game. I mean, more so than you would imagine in boxing. I think a lot more people get damaged in rugby than actually people being hit in the head, if you're in a boxing match.
Obviously, there's the issue with concussion. I don't know whether you get more or less in rugby or boxing. I don't know. If you looked into that and that's true, Damon, then maybe I don't know. I've not heard that before, but I think the issue is that it's a contact sport. It's a physical sport.